First of all, I would like to thank the Philippines ABAC for the invitation extends to me and the opportunity to participate in this dialogue. We heard a lot about the contributions of services sector to the GDP. I think we see the average of the developed countries like 75%. In Thailand, it's just like 60 and it's gradually increased, but actually we are expecting more. Trade and services, we can see that the COVID-19, the impact is really unexpected. And actually, we can see that like mode 2, like consumptions abroad and also mode 4, movement national persons, badly hit by the restrictions or the response measures taken by the government. But in case of Thailand, we see that mode 3, the commercial presence, the investment can be conducted, not really affected. We can see the decrease, maybe like 11%, but it's not really substantial like the movement of person. But the mode 1, cross-border services is substantially, incredibly increased. And we heard a lot about the previous presentations as well as speakers about the importance of digitalizations and the opportunities arising from the cross-border services. But having said that, we have to thinking about what is really needed in terms of because I'm from the government as well, I'd like to say that in terms of government's actions or the roles of government, it's very clear that we need to have the sound environment for the digital economy. But in the same time, we're talking about the domestic regulations that would enable the services supplied and also reduce the cost of trade. But when we're thinking about talking about how the services impact from COVID-19, I can say actually previous speaker, the New Zealand SOMS has already mentioned clearly about the tourism sector. You can see that Thailand have heavily rely on services, which is a traditional services tourism sector. This really, we have a lot of tourism, like 40 million a year. And then we have the COVID with the stagnations of the transportations, the logistic and everything. So actually these sectors are badly affected from the COVID-19. But still, we see the e-commerce services brings opportunities and increase a lot of trade opportunities, reduce trade costs, and also extend it to the SME. But again, when we're talking about the benefits of the e-commerce platform, again, we have to, there's pros and cons. And actually there's a previous speaker, I think from ATC, mentions about the digital divide. Not all can access, not all operators or not all entrepreneurs can transform themselves. So actually, we need to see as well how to assist them, how to help them on board or access to necessary facilities. When talking about digitalizations, I think we need to how the digital technologies can help us to integrate into the global value chains. We see previous speaker as well about the many opportunities about taking IoT to integrate themselves in the services, and also like constructions, engineers. We also see that opportunities as well. But again, digitalizations may give opportunities, but in the same time, for those who cannot access, may also increase the inequality across the economy. But having said that, I would say that digitalizations alone, even the government support or the idea of transform entrepreneurs or companies to become digital or adopt digital technologies may be not sufficient. We need also domestic regulatory reforms. I think previous, some already mentions about the efforts of APEC and also the effort that we have under the WTO joint initiative. I think Thailand, we also see and recognize the importance of the digital digitalizations and domestic regulations. That's why we joined JSI e-commerce and also the JI domestic regulations. But having said that, I would say that the domestic regulations is very important for the services supplier, because they need transparency rules. They need to see what is the procedures and the timelines, and also sometimes they need to engage in the procedures. And they need some notifications. They need their business to be, predictable. I would say that in case of Thailand, we have done all these digitalizations, because in the national strategies, you also have digital economies in the national strategies for quite some time. That's why we have legal frameworks for that's like Deborah mentions about the laws. When you transform yourself to digital, the thing is, people mentions about business needs predictability. And I think it's very important to have the infrastructure, both physical, of course, you need digital infrastructure for the business, and also the soft infrastructure, which is the legal frameworks. The frameworks for recognitions of e-signatures, e-invoicings, e-contracts, or the consumer protections, which is online consumer protections, the cybersecurity laws. Don't forget that when you enter into digital economy, there will be pros and cons as well. The benefits for the business, the benefits for the business, for the entrepreneurs, but in the same time, the consumer, how to protect them from the fraud or any something went wrong, something like that. So the law would help them to have more confidence and can reap the benefits of the digital economy. When we're talking about service sector, service certifications in process in Thailand, as I mentioned earlier, we heavily rely on the traditional services like tourism. But now I think the government have been reviews and try to move into the modern services. We heard today, we heard about the modern activities. Actually, there are potential services that Thailand is looking at, like tech finance or research and development or medical and wellness services, which is very quite outstanding in Thailand. So we think it's amidst of the COVID-19 is also opportunities for the countries to review the policies that should adjust to the challenge, and also to reap the benefits of the opportunities. I think that's all from Thailand. Thank you.